On today's episode, next-gen cars in NASCAR. Something's gained, but something's lost. Today's episode is brought to you by engineering.com, a globally trusted source for engineering content. Check out this and many other exclusive videos for the engineering professional found only on engineering.com TV today. There are a lot of good reasons to follow NASCAR racing, particularly at the Cup level. The engineering is impressive, competition is close, and drivers are highly talented. Now, it's called stock car racing, but NASCAR vehicles at the highest levels have shed any pretense of similarity to the cars that mere mortals can order from a dealership decades ago. Now, originally, these deviations from stock configuration were done for reasons of safety and reliability, and until the current new generation car, they clung to some old traditions like steel bodies, 5-lug steel wheels, and fuel induction by carburation long after the racing world switched to fuel injection. Now, the new generation of NASCAR Cup cars, however, are not only completely purpose-built racing vehicles, they now resemble touring cars as seen all over the world. Central locking alloy race wheels, synthetic bodies, and sequential shift racing transmissions. The racing, however, is closer than ever. Now, the reason for this is that the cars are no longer fabricated individually by shops or procured from the handful of shops staffed by old-time NASCAR racers, but they're factory-made and they're sold to the owners of racing franchises in the new system of NASCAR organization. Now, the cars look the same because, in essence, they are the same, although bodies are altered just enough to give some family resemblance to brands like Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet. Now, NASCAR champion Kyle Busch described them once as Walmart cars and decried the limited ability of today's crew chiefs and mechanics to innovate in the quest for speed. Now, it's true that current NASCAR rules greatly limit the ability of teams to modify the cars, but NASCAR is NASCAR, and creative rule interpretation has been around since the origin of the sport in the early 50s. Now, cheating has been a part of the sport forever, and it was so prevalent once that it was something of a source of pride for early crew chiefs who could use hidden fuel tanks, nitrous oxide, trapdoor restrictor plates, and other tricks to find a competitive edge. Now, that's almost impossible today, but crews are still looking for that edge. Today, aerodynamics are key, and the cars respond to incredibly small dynamic tweaks. The application of a small amount of tape on a grille can significantly change understeer or oversteer characteristics, and ride height is critical. Now, NASCAR is watching drag, and as a result, teams spend a lot of time and money in wind tunnels looking for ways to meet target drag coefficients, but distribute that drag in ways that can use it to best advantage, principally to maximize downforce. Computational fluid dynamics, 3D printing, and extensive simulation are all tools of the trade now, and NASCAR uses the same tools to keep competitors in line. Now, as a result, the cars are closely matched, and if one competitor appears to run away, it's generally because the crew has optimized the setup for that track and weather conditions, has great pit stops, or both. Now, if you take the time to really lean into the sport and understand those nuances, it can make a truly fascinating event to watch, especially if you listen to driver communications, which are accessible to fans with the right radios. Now, to me, it's fascinating to watch a crew chief work with the driver to correct an ill-handling car using subtle air pressure changes and tactical pit stops, or to watch a driver deep in the field forego a pit stop during a yellow to gain track position, then struggle to stay on top on worn tires. In the fondly remembered glory days of the sport, teams like Petty Engineering, Holman and Moody, and K&K Insurance Racing could run away from the pack, leading to processional, uninteresting races. Well, no more. But modernity in the sport has taken a lot of the creativity out of the hands of the mechanics and engineers in favor of a better consumer spectacle. But something I think's been lost. Like in 1985 at the Daytona Summer Race when unheralded Greg Sachs won the Firecracker 400 in a car without sponsorship, the so-called research and development car. Now, Sachs stomped a field filled with stars, but never won again at the Cup level. A brilliant drive, yes, and a shock victory, especially over dominant drivers like Bill Elliott. But what did Gary Nelson put into that car? Well, that's it for today's episode of End of the Line, brought to you by engineering.com. For our deeper engineering series, visit engineering.com TV for exclusive shows like Manufacturing the Future, Designing the Future, and the Engineering Roundtable, not found on our YouTube channel. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.